Yes, people, it's your boy Shazad back again on another edition of Fergie Time right here on the Finished Article. And we're back again in our normal locations. I'm at home, Shaz is back at home. Last night was a special edition. We were just out, and you know what? We thought we'd just do a show together from the yard. To be fair, it was a really, really late night last night. I think we didn't even get to sleep till like 6 a.m. For the people that watched the other show, All Things Wrestling, we were up watching SummerSlam. Yeah, but this is Fergie time. So let's get Shaz on and let's get talking about this post-match of the United game against Southampton at St. Mary's. So here he is. Yes, bro, we're good. Have you recovered from last night, bro?
I don't know. I'm still recovering from last night, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that, bro. And when he says recovering, he doesn't mean from alcohol or anything. He just means from lack of sleep.
Yeah,
just wanted to clarify that we did not go on a bender or anything last night. We were up last night watching wrestling. We were watching SummerSlam, as I said.
We were basically reliving our youth. But unfortunately, we're not.
It didn't pay off, did it, bro? It didn't pay off last night. Last night it was a write-off, bro. But everybody, leave some love for us. Leave some likes on the videos you do like on the channel so we know what type of content you want to see going forward. Leave some comments on the videos. Let us know your thoughts on what we've discussed. And subscribe to the channel over here on YouTube. And subscribe over on Twitch. We're going to be starting to get some new shows over on Twitch. We've got Fight Night. We are looking at bringing some other shows over on Twitch. As well as YouTube. So get yourself subscribed to both so you don't miss out on any of those. At the moment, we are on the race to 200. So that what that means is we've already hit 100 and we've done a prize draw, but we haven't actually got any communication back from the winner of that prize draw that we did just over, was it 2 weeks now we did it? Nearly. Yeah. So we haven't had any response back. So we're going to give them till the 31st, which is Tuesday, the 31st of August, midnight. If we haven't had any contact back from the winner, we will do another prize draw with everybody that's still subscribed from the start till now. So anybody, if you want to get a prize, get yourselves included, get subscribed to the channel and let us know that you are subscribed by either sending a screenshot or making your subscription visible in the settings on YouTube. That way we can see you. If we can't see you, we can't add you to the draw. And we did give people a chance to make it visible so we could see it. But unfortunately, this time we won't, because we're just going to get the draw out of the way because we've already left it long enough to get the prize out. So official Facebook and Twitter are at the bottom. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Our personal ones are here and over that way on his. So if you want to shout us out, if you want to have a chat with us, if you want to let us know what type of content you want, if you want to disagree with something that we've said on the podcast, whatever, drop us a tweet, hit us up on Facebook, on the official channel page and on the official Twitter, or get us on our personals. We'll try and respond to as much as we can. But what we're going to do now, we're going to get into this, bro. We're going to get into the game from today. We're going to be talking about Southampton versus Manchester United at St. Mary's. So I'm going to let you give your thoughts on the game itself, bro. Just the game itself.
So in a nutshell, it's pretty much how I thought it would go. United started positively. They attacked. We just lacked the clinical edge, because had we had that, I reckon we would have battered them probably 4-5 goals. Yeah. So that being said, we didn't take those chances, and unfortunately, this is why United struggled last season. So whilst we are 27 games unbeaten, which is actually a fantastic achievement, you need to start winning these games, because whilst Man City lost last week, you do realize that the major sides will start to pull away. So
yes,
the downer, but
you're right on that, bro. My initial thoughts on this game were that United, they were dominating, don't get me wrong. They had a lot of possession. They did well in possession, but they weren't converting that possession into enough attack to get goals.
Yeah.
Southampton's goal, I think, was a very lucky goal because in any other game, the tackle on Bruno would have been given as a foul.
Yeah.
And that goal would have been, disallowed, but the referee let it go. They didn't even take it to VAR, which I thought was quite weird. I thought VAR would have got involved in there. But I think now the rules have changed on VAR. I think it's only if the referee feels it needs to go to VAR, it will. So, yeah, I think it was a bit of a weird one. It was deflected off Fred, which is just unlucky. And then Mason Greenwood's goal was a good goal, good finish.
We literally battered them. I mean, if I'm being honest, we had great. Was it
Matic had a great chance from a corner, the header.
Martial had a great chance. Fernandez had a chance. Pogba had chances. I mean, practically everybody, you name it, had chances.
Yeah, bro. Everyone had chances up front.
Yeah.
And just before we move on, we have Pogba on another assist, so that's 5 in 2 games. So the guy assisting wise is on fire. Goal wise, he's not scored yet, but I think he'll open his account soon. Maybe at Aston Villa next week. Maybe at home at Old Trafford to Newcastle. Who knows? I think his goals are coming soon. But we'll move on, Chaz. We'll move on. United still haven't lost an away game in 27 games. So for everyone that doesn't know, that's all last season they didn't lose a game, and obviously today they didn't lose away. So they have now leveled up with Arsenal's invincible season away tally. So one more away win or draw, and they've broken that record. Now, there's only 4 teams in history that have gone a full season unbeaten. So just some knowledge for you all. The first team that ever did it was Preston North End in 1888-89 season. So it's way over 100 and something years ago, right? So then the team after that was Arsenal 2001-2002. And then obviously the Arsenal, again, 2003-2004 invincible season. And now you have United, which was last season, and moving on to this season as well. So United have done a great achievement there with the squad that we had last season. I think it's well deserved to the lads. Do you know what I mean? They played well last season. The away form isn't the problem, and I don't even think it's the home form. It's the fact that we draw games that we should really be winning. Like Leeds last week, Shaz, just for instance, right? Leeds last week, we smashed them.
Yeah,
we smashed them 5-1, right? So you'd expect us to come to and play Southampton and do the same, but we didn't. We came to Southampton and we drew, and that's just United, isn't it? They have a really good, super good game, and then the week after they let you down by losing or drawing.
You know what? I'm happy to take the blip because it's
I'm not happy to take the blip, bro. No, right at the start of the season, bro, them points count, bro.
Yeah, no, they do count. But
them 2 points could be the difference between winning the season and coming second.
Okay,
you get what I mean?
Let me clarify. You're right. we much prefer a win, and yes, we want to see a win. What I'm saying is, in the wider context of the picture, you got to look at it like this. If United are going to look at this performance and say, look, guys, we can't afford another performance like this because we've taken our bad day today, then I'm good with that. But
I get what you mean, that they can learn from it, bro. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, for me, Sancho's got to start. We talked about this last night. Well, this morning at 2 a.m. That's how long it's been. 2 a.m.
When we were watching SummerSlam, we were talking about United.
Why are we buying Varane and keeping him on the pitch? As much as
I don't get that. Varane should have started this game. Sancho should have started this game. We said this at 3 a.m. last night on the preview for the game. We're saying it again on the post-match because it should have happened and it didn't.
And you know what? Had it started, I don't think they would have scored because that position would have been taken up by Varane Maguire. So
yes, definitely. Now, the problem that I have is we started with Matic and Fred, and we should have started with McTominay and Fred like we did last week. Because that partnership, even though people don't rate it, works. Right? Last week, you saw what McTominay could do. He broke up play on the counter-attacks for Leeds, and he won possession. He broke up play so they couldn't counter us. He and that's what we needed this game because Southampton are good at breaking away.
Yeah.
So the next question, just as it's coming up there, Shaz, what did you think of the performance, not just of United, but of the players as well? I know we've talked about the team, but individually as players, how would you rate them players, bro?
So for me, I would put it like this. For me, David De Gea on point, had a great game. Pogba, great game with the assist. Fernandez wasn't his best. He tried. Martial, you know my beef with him. You're the one that's asking me to give him a chance. And I want to give him a chance, but I can't give him a chance. So me and Shaz messages, and one thing Martial has is pace, but he doesn't utilize it.
Yeah,
bro, run, but nah, he was off. I mean, overall,
do you know what? Martial had a stinker, bro. That's the only way you can say it. Now, Pogba, on the other hand, Pogba had a great game. I think he was just unlucky that he didn't score. Now, there's an official stat online that Pogba is the first player in the Premier League history to register 5 assists after 2 games in a single season. So that's history made again for United. Do you get what I mean?
No, and I've never doubted Paul Pogba's quality. That going back to the performance, it just highlights the fact that we talked about this last week. So when we talked about Dan James and him not being good enough against sides that play and sit on the back and have 10 men behind the ball, like your Southamptons, your West, so your Watfords, your Brentfords, you are going to have to find a way of either running past them or having an incisive pass like Pogba did
Fernandez
for the goal. Greenwood had multiple chances. Now, guess what? Shaz actually mentioned it on the preview. So had Cavani been playing, those heady chances, and this is why when our boy Sol talks about world-class strikers, this is what we mean. We need a guy that knows how to put the ball in the back. Like your boy.
The problem with Solskjaer is, from what I understand, what do you call him? Cavani had obviously trained with the squad as we discussed on the preview, but he didn't even make the bench or the starting 11, which is quite bizarre because you had Dan James on the bench or Dalot on the bench, but you didn't have Cavani, and that's worrying to me. If he's fit enough to play, even if it's 45 minutes, he should be on the bench.
You know
because we could have taken Martial off when we did it for Sancho and put Cavani on, and I guarantee Cavani would have converted the chances.
And I'm just about to say something, and I know you're going to hate me for saying this.
Don't say it, bro. Don't say it. If I'm going to hate you for it, bro, don't say it.
So you said give Martial a chance, but I still will. But the problem is, and here's the big problem: Cavani didn't play the first game against Leeds and didn't play today. Martial has played today, and on the basis of today, and on the basis of the two.
Let's get that right. He's played both games. He's started both games.
He's played both games. Problem is, he hasn't put a convincing case to Ollie to say, you know what, I had the summer to reflect because you didn't go to yours. You can guarantee that Cavani is starting from near on here.
Cavani will start over Martial because Martial's had 2 games to prove a point, and do well, and he hasn't. He hasn't scored. He hasn't done enough to show that he's got the hunger to stay in that starting 11 to me. And as Shaz said, I've always rated Martial, right? And we had this discussion yesterday on the way when we were out yesterday, bro. We had this discussion about Martial, right? And I didn't actually realize the guy's 25 years old. He's been at United for 6 years now.
Yes.
So if he's not going to prove it now, then when is he going to prove it? And the point I'm trying to make is, he to me now, this is his last season at United. If he doesn't do well this season, if he can't prove he should be in a starting 11 at United over Cavani or whoever, then he needs to go. And I'm saying that, and I'm a big fan of Martial. I've always said I'm a big fan of him. But I'm getting really frustrated and annoyed at watching him because his performances are up to par. Yes, he has some really great games where he scores good goals, but he's not consistent enough. If he did that week in, week out, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Do you get me, Shaz?
We shouldn't be having it. We shouldn't.
And that's the thing. We shouldn't, bro, because like I said yesterday to you and Saul when we were in the car, bro, he has got the potential to do that week in and week out. He just doesn't do it because he's not consistent enough and he just can't be asked. And you can see that in his body language. You can see that in his, the way he is on the pitch, that he just can't be asked anymore.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
I think the best thing for him now is you either prove yourself this season or United let you go to another club and recoup some of the fee from you and bring in someone else that will do what they're paid to do, is like score goals, isn't it?
But it's like you said, Shaz, even if you let Martial go, you've still got enough quality in the side.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been saying this for ages. We don't really need someone to replace Martial.
Yeah.
We've got Sancho, we've got Cavani, we've got Rashford, we've got Greenwood. Out to them, three of them players are young players.
We need someone to replace Cavani at the end of this season.
No, exactly. That's not what I'm saying, though, bro.
Yeah.
I'm saying Martial specifically. If we get rid of Martial right now, like let's say if we sell him this window, we don't need to buy anyone to replace him because we've got Rashford coming back towards Christmas. We've got Cavani back in training, so he's going to be featuring in the next couple of weeks. You've got Mason Greenwood. You've got Sancho that can step up. And then it gives Jesse Lingard a chance as well to be, to actually get some game time at United. So maybe getting rid of Martial will do good for United. It'll bring in some money that we need because we've obviously just spent, we've spent 120-something million on 2 players.
And they were
something like that. And that's what I'm saying, bro. These 2 players that we've just bought for 120 million pounds are on the freaking bench. They weren't even starting, bro.
Yeah, but
bro, how does that logic work? You've just paid 120 million for Varane and Sancho, and you stick them on the bench against a team like Southampton away. This is a game that you should be playing your best squad and smashing 5 against them, like we did against Leeds last week.
This is the perfect game for Varane to get adapted.
Exactly. It would have been the perfect game for Varane to make his debut, and it would have been perfect chance for Sancho to have his first full game at United because he did play against Leeds, but he came off the bench just like he did today. But against Leeds, he had 15 minutes. Today, he had about half an hour, which, like I said, half an hour should be enough to get on and score, but it's not always the case, is it? I mean, sometimes you need more time. And I'm not going to fault Sancho for not scoring, bro, because I think if he was on the pitch over Martial to start with,
different game.
It would have been a different game completely, and we would have scored more goals. Whether we had Varane in defence or not, that wouldn't have been an issue because we would have had the goals on the other end to counter whatever Southampton scored. And a point that you made, I think you made it earlier about De Gea. He pulled off a save from Ward-Prowse's free kick that kept us in that game. And at that point, I believe it was 1-0 to Southampton, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it was after that United scored their equaliser through Mason Greenwood and Pogba's assist. And I think if we didn't have De Gea in the next today, we could have lost that game. But the end of the day, we dropped 2 points, which I feel we shouldn't have done in this game. I always said from the first 4 games or 5 games, so it was Leeds, Southampton, Aston Villa, Newcastle, and I think is it Watford or someone after that? Yeah. Right, 5 games, 15 points for United. Them 5 games should be an easy 15 points. If we want to be title contenders, these 5 games should have been easy 15 points for us, right? The first game against Leeds, we smashed it. We got the 3 points there. But then we turn up at St. Mary's for Southampton like a completely different team. And that's just because I think he made 2 changes. He put Matic on and he didn't start Daniel James.
Yeah.
They aren't big changes. You get what I mean? Daniel James isn't a big player. He's not that important in the squad. We can win games with or without Daniel James. And the same with Matic. Do you know, and the same goes for McTominay. We can play without McTominay if we need to. But I think that United play better when he's there because he helps out in the midfield area by, like I said, breaking up play, by winning the ball, by stopping their counters. And yeah, he makes technical fouls on purpose to break up their play, which gives the United players a chance to get back and defend from that free kick, which is what you need a player to do. If you know they're hitting you on the counter and the only way you can stop that counter was a technical foul, you do it. That's what footballers do. All footballers do it. And McTominay does it really well.
No,
he gets stuck in. He intercepts the ball. He goes for the tackles. He holds the ball up for United in midfield. And that's the type of midfielder you need. Especially in a game where you're playing Southampton. Because they like to take teams on the counter, bro.
And I think it's just one that he's gonna have to take on the chin, all of us. All he should all he needs to say, listen, I mean, no more of this performance.
The questions need to be asked now of all it, like what happened? What happened? Why couldn't you do the same against Southampton as what we did against Leeds the week before? Are Southampton that much better than Leeds? I don't think they are. I don't think they are at all. And that's the point I'm trying to make. So, to me, Leeds are better than Southampton.
Yeah.
Right? So we smash Leeds, but we can draw against Southampton. Where's the consistency? You know what I mean? And it's not the players that aren't consistent, because Pogba had a good game, just like he did last week. Yes, he didn't get as many assists as last week, but Fernandes played a decent game. He didn't have a bad game. Mason Greenwood on the score sheet again. Sancho came off the bench, had a decent game. De Gea had a good game. The defense wasn't really that. There was nothing really wrong with the defense. Wan-Bissaka made some good tackles. Luke Shaw got forward as much as he could and made some good tackles as well. Harry Maguire, bar the yellow card he got, had a good game. Lindelof had a good game. He wasn't amazing, but I think he had a bit of a quiet game, but he still had a good game. So to say that most of our players had a good game and we still drew against Southampton, that's worrying for me. Because if we're having good games and we can't beat teams like Southampton, what's going to happen when we play Man City and we have a good game? Are we going to get destroyed by him? Are we going to get battered by him? What's going to happen when we play against Chelsea? What's going to happen when we play against Liverpool and we have a good game? We can't just keep having good games. We need to have amazing performances week in, week out from Pogba, from Fernandes, from Sancho, from freaking Martial as well. He needs to step his game up. From Mason Greenwood, and I'm not saying Mason Greenwood hasn't had a good game.
Yeah, so I'm gonna jump in. So here's my take on. I actually agree with everything you've said. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's really simple. All he needs to do, and I know you touched upon it, is bring your boy Varane in. You paid for him, play him. Bring Sancho in, creativity. Bring in Cavani, because the guy's ruthless in front of goal, and then just have that positive mindset. I would even start with McTominay.
Sorry, Rob, just before you carry on, can I just ask, has Cavani actually been training with the squad this week? Or am I just making that up, bro?
No, I heard he was in training, but I don't know to what extent of training he's been doing. That is a good question. I mean, I'm not entirely sure.
So Cavani is now back in training after returning to the country. Cavani returned to training with United on Friday. So it was only 2 days ago. That's why he didn't make the squad. Someone told me he's been training with the squad all week. But if he's only returned on Friday, he's probably had, one training session, 2 with United. That's not enough to get in the squad, to be fair. So I understand why he didn't make it in the squad. I would have liked to see him in, even if it was the 15-minute feature. Do you get what I mean?
You'd think he would have done that.
Because I think even in the 15 minutes, Cavani would have done more than Martial did in his 60 minutes. Do you get what I'm saying? Because Martial is he's too relaxed. He's too calm. He thinks he's just too cool, bro. But we're not in the WWE Attitude Era anymore. You know what I mean? You can't be too cool no more, bro. It's you need to move on from that. You're 25 in a United shirt. You need to be playing better. Otherwise, you need to be gone. And from now on, I'm not gonna be that person that backs Martial. I'm gonna. Do you know what I mean? I've been backing him for years, bro. With you, you've been telling me for years that Martial needs to go in it, bro. Even
Yeah, I
before
know.
we started
Yeah,
doing these
yeah, I
shows,
know.
bro, on YouTube, you've been telling me, but even maybe a year or two before that, Martial needs to go, bro. Martial needs to go, bro. And what have I always said to you, bro? Nah, he's a young player, man. Give him a chance, bro. He's got the potential, bro. The potential's there. He just needs to be used properly. But thinking back, saying all that, he's had all this time at United. He's had 6 years at United, and he still hasn't reached his full potential. And I don't think he ever will because of just the way he is. He's just too lazy. He's happy getting his paycheck and doing jack shit in front of goal.
He's happy for others to do the hard work, and he gets the tap-ins. But the problem with that is he's never in the right place for the tap-ins anyway. So
that's it. That's it.
Doesn't get them either. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, man. So no, before we move on, bro, sorry. Okay. I want to just talk about the free kick not the free kick, sorry. The chance that Matic had from the corner.
Oh yes,
that was a really good chance, man. And I would have expected from that distance for him to score that. If that was a Harry Maguire header, that would have gone in, bro, or even a Varane header. You get me?
Only time will tell, and I agree with you. I was actually surprised to see Matic play today. I know that he's in the
he actually didn't have a bad game, you know.
No,
I think he had a decent game.
He had a decent
game. Yeah, man. Let's move on to the next topic, man. Let's just jump onto it. Who was man of the match for United? Not from a Southampton team, because overall, Liveram, was it Liv?
Yeah, Liveram got
Liveram. What's his name?
Liveram.
Yeah, Sky Sports gave it to Liveram, and I don't disagree. He had a good game, but we're specifically, obviously, on this show talking about United. Yeah. So for you, Shaz, who was man of the match for United? Pogba.
Because
I thought you would say that. Because and you're right, bro. I think Pogba had a great performance. Again, like he did last week.
It's a breath of fresh air to see Pogba playing the way he is because he was injured all of last season, and it's refreshing because you know that Bruno knows that Pogba can also take the load off him. So that combined with the fact that Sancho will get more game time, Varane comes in, I think it's exciting times. It's just a reminder that unfortunately, until we fix up, we will have these chinks of armor, i.e. today's performance, because you're never going to completely eradicate. And this is where Ollie should be saying, look, guys, this performance, attacking-wise, brilliant. Get the ball in the back and then be more ruthless. Defensively, you've got to be tight. I mean, their goal, yes, it was a deflection, but did you see it came off Fred's leg? And I was like, okay, how did it go in? And then I saw the deflection, and I'm like, Fred, you either need to be standing directly in front of it. So
yeah.
Because standing
I get that. Yeah. Now, personally, for me, I would say Pogba again had man of the match this for United. We're not talking about Southampton's performance. We're specifically talking about United. So, again, yeah, you're right, Shaz. Pogba is man of the match again for United. Now, I want to see if anybody does disagree. I know there's a couple of people watching, and obviously people may watch it on a replay. So, leave it in the comments below who you think was man of the match for United. And if you agree with us as Pogba, why do you agree? If you disagree, tell us why you disagree and who you thought man of the match was and why there was man of the match. Yeah. I want to know who you think it was, but I want to know why you think it was. It's always good to know other people's opinions.
Yeah, absolutely.
On that. The last question, Shaz, I think we've already spoke about it during the half hour that we've been chatting, but I'll bring it up anyway. Who was the Deadwood? Martial. I'm gonna blatantly say it now. Martial was Deadwood. I think he had the worst performance of the team. I think everybody else in the squad had a good game besides him.
If you instead of Martial, if you'd have started Lingard, I reckon it would have been.
Or even Sancho, bro.
Or even Sancho, yeah. Why not?
I think didn't Lingard come on?
No, but that's what I mean. The reason I didn't mention Sancho is he should have already been starting anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That was.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think Lingard should have started instead of Matic.
Yeah.
Right, and then you have Sancho starting instead of Sancho starting instead of Martial.
Yeah,
and then you put Mason Greenwood up front and put Sancho on the wing, and then you've got Jesse Lingard as well.
Let me jump in with a really interesting point. Yeah, so central defensive midfielders, their job is when you've got teams of the attacking qualities like PSG, your Barcelonas, hell, your Man Cities, your Liverpools, who know you go toe to toe with. You need a central defensive midfielder to sort of break it up and say, look, calm down. I'll manage to play. Against, no disrespect to Southamptons and Watfords, but let's be honest, you really don't need a CDM against these guys because for 90% of the game, they were on the back foot, bro. They literally, you know what, their fans left thinking they won the lottery today, and they had, because on another day we would have spanked these guys all the way. You know what we would have done. What's a good example? We would have done a Becky Lynch and come in smack and walk out.
Mad guy.
Had to throw it in, bro.
Mad guy. I'm just having a look at some of the stats from today's game, man. Just give me a sec. So I'm looking. I can't find today's stats, man. What is going on? These are just normal stats.
Yeah, I think the BBC website would normally have
yeah, that's what I'm looking for now. I just want to see how the possession was percentage wise.
I can tell you that right now. So
I'm loading it up now, bro. Give me a sec. No, okay. I can't find it. Go for it, man. You go for it. Bring it up. Oh no, don't bring it up on. Actually, no, I found it here. What's going on?
Yeah, just share it.
Give me a sec. I mean, looking at Sky, not Sky. Well, what's this? Where am I looking? BBC. The ratings they gave the players were shocking, man. They gave player of the match to Chi Adams, who scored for Southampton. Right? They gave Greenwood 5.3 out of 10. They gave Pogba 5.1. Bruno got a 5. Luke Shaw got less than 5. So did Sancho. So did De Gea. So did Wan-Bissaka. So did McTominay. Maguire, Lindelof, Lingard. Matic got 3.9. Fred got a 3.6. And Martial got a 3.4, man. That's disgusting. But then if you look at Southampton's, they're all got 6, 7s, bro. I disagree with that. I actually do disagree with the ratings that they've got there. I think the reason
they've done that, and I think I can understand a bit of logic. Yes, I agree that they're harsh, but I think what they're trying to say is, against a team like Southampton, you should all be getting 10s.
No, you're not wrong. But United didn't have that bad of a game. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. They didn't. The ratings that've been given on BBC are really harsh, bro.
Especially
Martial's is still harsh. They gave him a 3 point something, and that's still harsh because I still think he did better than that out of 10, bro. Mason Greenwood scored, and he still got what did he get, bro? What did I say he got?
5.5 or something.
5.3.
Okay,
that's the highest rating the United player got, and the lowest was 3.4 for Martial. But I don't really want to talk about those ratings, bro. But let's talk about the stats that of the game. I'm going to see if I can bring them up, Shaz. Just give me a sec. Right, here we go. Just going to pull them up, yeah?
No problem.
Here we go. Share that in now. It should pop up in a sec. Where's it gone? Right, here we go. So look at that, bro. Possession, 64 to 36 for United. We dominated possession, 15 shots to 8. But if you look at the shots, bro, we had 15, but we only had 4 on target.
That's worrying.
They had that's worrying. But they had 8 and 3 on target. So they had 1 less on target, but they had 5, 6, 7 less shots than us. So that is worrying that we're having shots, but so many were off target, man. 11 shots were off target, man. That's shocking, man. Corners, that's fair. Same amount of corners and fouls. There's no worries in the fouls, man. They happen in games, bro. But that's what I wanted to highlight. That, bro, is that United dominated the game in shots wise, whether they were on target or not, and possession wise. The problem is that we couldn't convert the possession and shots into on target and goals. That's the point I'm trying to make, bro. That we're struggling to convert the chances into actual goals, and that's where we're struggling, and that's why we need a player like Cavani, or we need Rashford back as soon as possible, or we need to play Sancho more and get Mason Greenwood up front and let him bang the goals in. But this is Solskjaer, and Solskjaer plays the way he thinks it is best. But is that the best way? If we're drawing games to Southampton, is that the best way? Because that near enough, it was the same squad, bar 2 changes, and we smashed 5 past Leeds, and we could just barely score 1 against Southampton.
Yeah, it's one that we're gonna have to keep an eye on to see how.
The only thing I can see different between the 2 games is Leeds was at home and Southampton's away, but you can't say that we've got a bad away form because we haven't lost in 27 games away. So you can't say that it's the away form, because our away form is one of the best in this in the league right now, and that's worrying that we've got a really good away form, but it's the away games that we're not winning.
Yeah, no, we need to start converting the chances and getting the results.
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%.
Will also play a big part if it's as close as it.
Give me 1 sec, bro. I'm just going to plug the charger in.
Yeah,
you carry on.
So in terms of goals, I reckon we need to start converting because, as mentioned, goal difference will play a key part. And it's all about making sure that.
Sorry, bro.
No, that's fine. I was just talking about goal difference. I think that's a crucial element that also needs to be factored in. Because tied points is one thing, but then look at the goals record for and against. And United really need to start punishing teams like they did last week. But that's just my take on it.
You're right, man. Definitely. I mean, look at Man City and Norwich. Man City were clinical in front of goal, man. They were putting them away. And the same could be said for United against Leeds. But then United versus Southampton, it looked like a completely different team.
Yeah,
but why does it look like a completely different team? Because we've made 2 changes. That's very worrying that we made 2 changes and it looked like a completely different team, bro.
No, I'd agree with that.
Hold on, bro. We've got a comment here. I'll bring it up, Shaz. Assalamu alaikum from Ishal Fatima.
Wa
alaikum salam. Appreciate you tuning in. And for the comment. But yeah, United need to start converting their chances into goals. The quicker they start doing it, the quicker they start getting clinical in front of goal, the better that we will be towards the end of the season.
That's true. I agree with that.
But for the people that are watching, what were your thoughts on the United game today against Southampton? Did you think United did well, or do you think it was a bad performance? Let us know your thoughts on the United squad, or on the actual lineup as well. If you look at the lineup, it could have been a better lineup. I mean, we could have. What's that?
No, I'd agree. The lineup needs to be looked at, because if you're only making 1 or 2 changes, then you can't go from one extreme to another extreme and have that bad of a game. But we have to see how these guys get on going forward.
Yeah, but the point that is worrying, bro, is the fact that we literally played near enough the same squad. The only difference was Dan James and Scott McTominay didn't start, and we played like we were a completely different team. And that's the worrying part, bro, is that you can change 2 players in the squad or in the starting 11 and you can look like a completely different team. I mean, if you do that with, let's say, Man City, if they change a couple of players around, they don't look like a completely different team. The same with Liverpool, but I mean, if you get rid of Van Dijk, they are a completely different team. But I'm talking in the positions like where Scott McTominay and Daniel James play. If you change the players in them positions to other players from the bench, Liverpool don't look like a different team.
Nope.
And that's the worrying part that United do. I mean, I would use Arsenal as an example, but you know the struggle with Arsenal in it, bro. So I don't want to add misery to their miserable start to the season already in it. Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on it, bro? That we're changing 2 players in the starting 11 and we look like a completely different team. Do you agree with that, or what are your thoughts on it, man?
I say whoever we put out on the pitch should be good enough to go and get the job done. You can put Tom, Dick, and Harry. It doesn't make a difference. When Man United, you go out and get the job done.
So that's it, and that's the problem. They don't. The players all like when we started against Leeds, we had Dan James playing and we won 5-1. Right, this is Dan James, and I don't really rate Dan James. You know that, Shaz. I don't rate Dan James at all.
I do.
And he didn't play in the game against Southampton, and we struggled. And that's very worrying that we struggled. But I think he should have been in the game, in the squad, or on the pitch for the game against Southampton because he's got pace, and we would have been able to get around their back four.
It goes back to the whole point that Dan James would be perfectly suited to these type of games because he can run and he can make things happen. When you're playing a team like Man City, you don't actually need a Dan James because you've got enough quality elsewhere to cover it. But again,
sorry to cut you off there, bro. We've got another comment from Michelle. I thought it might have been a bit obvious who we support because of the name of the show. It's Fergie time. It's Manchester United. This show is all about Manchester United. I support Manchester United. I think, Shaz, you support United and Coventry City. But this show is specifically about United. What about yourself, Ishal? Who do you support? Are you a United supporter or who do you support? I'll wait for the comment to come up, man. But sorry, Shaz, I'll let you finish what you were saying there, bro, while I wait for that comment to come up.
No, I was just effectively saying Dan James would be perfect in these type of games because this is where we talk about depth in squad. So we talk about the fact that certain players are suited to certain styles. And Dan James, I reckon, would have broke. I think, you know what? We actually did break Southampton down. It was today we just lacked the clinical edge in front of goal.
Yeah. We've got our boy Idris back. Welcome back, Idris.
Welcome back, indeed.
I mean, before you go on, Shaz, Idris, we've been talking about the United Southampton game. Whilst we carry on, you just leave your comments and thoughts of the game, of the players, the performances and stuff. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on it, man. But go on, Shaz. I'll let you finish, man. Sorry.
No, it's just you got to find these games. I would have started. I would have had him in the squad, and perfect. He would have been a good tonic to bring on in the second half to drive at their defense. Because
was he not on the bench though?
No, I mean, but on the pitch.
Oh, right. So you would have put him in the starting 11. Okay, I get you.
I would have put him in the starting 11 simply because if you get the goals, if you get the chances, take them, and then you can swap them around. The problem is we didn't have enough of that penetrating threat to break them down.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. You bang on, bro. I mean, I think we needed like the killer passes. We needed more of them from Pogba today than we did against Leeds. I don't think we had as many. We've got a comment here. Fred was average this game, in my opinion. You're right. I think he was average against Leeds. It's just Leeds had a really bad day and he managed to score against them. Even though he had an average game, he still scored. But he had an average game against Southampton as well, and that showed. He didn't do too well. And I believe that's just because McTominay wasn't on with him to make him look good. I think McTominay makes Fred look good, and Fred makes McTominay look good. And when they play with someone else in their positions, like you had Fred and Matic, Fred didn't play too well, and I don't think McTominay had a good game as well when he came on.
No, he didn't.
So I think that partnership only works when they're together. Like, it doesn't work when they're on their own. But I think McTominay can play better on his own as well. He doesn't need Fred around him to make him look good. But I think Fred needs McTominay more than McTominay needs Fred to. Fred, if you believe me.
I think those combinations would have saved Fred today.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely. And we've got a comment that you're going to like, Shaz. You're going to like this one, bro. They really need to play Van der Beek.
Yeah, do you know what? That's the best point.
He was on the bench as well for this game, and I'm quite surprised he didn't come on.
Van de Beek would have
I
absolutely dissected.
think when they took, did they take Fred or Matic off for McTominay?
They took Fred off.
They took Fred off. I think they
Yeah.
should have replaced him with Van der Beek. It would have been a perfect time to bring Van der Beek on because it was 1-1, and we would have had an extra person on there that can bring some creativity into the passing and the movement. And I think with his size as well, he can do what McTominay does as well by holding the ball, by breaking up play and stuff. I think he would have been able to do that well with obviously the physique that he's put and the size that he's put on over the summer holidays. But yeah, so for you, Shaz, it was Pogba that was man of the match, yeah?
Yeah.
And for me as well. So I was saying it before you jumped on, Idris. Do you agree that Pogba was United's man of the match, or do you think someone else was? But I mean, whilst I wait for his comment to pop up, Shaz, let's talk about Van der Beek for a little bit, because this kid has gone from last season to this season, and he's completely transformed his physique. He's put on size. He's done what he needed. He's done what everything that Solskjaer wanted him to do over the summer, like putting size on and everything, right? So you'd expect Solskjaer to feature him more, but he's not.
I'm too tired to have this discussion. I watched SummerSlam for 5 hours yesterday. Yeah, do you know what? It comes down to the crux that I wish he would have been a bit more spontaneous in terms of his lineup. For me, he played it too safe today, and that kind of was the downfall. We actually were a bit complacent in the fact that we didn't convert the chances, and that's really all I can say on that matter. I mean, I want Van der Beek to play because he's a good player, and the fact is that if you bulked up and you've worked on your physique and tried to be a bit more muscular, because the Premier League is a tougher league, or physical league, I think you need to utilize him. And
definitely.
It'll be interesting to see how Ollie
I mean, I'd like to see Van der Beek feature more in the games, not just off the bench. I want to see him start. I want to see him get a proper chance this season.
I think Idris has come back as well.
He has, yeah. He's saying his man of the match was Greenwood.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I mean, Greenwood had a good game, but for me, I think Pogba had a better game than the whole squad. So that's why I picked Pogba. He was there when we needed him last week to create the goals. He was there this week to help us create the goal that Greenwood scored. And I think he had a couple of chances himself. He set other people up, and there was other chances that he created. It was the other players that just didn't convert him. I think Pogba had a good game again. And I think if the other players were there converting those chances, that's where we would have won the game. I think Pogba would have been on 7 or 8 assists.
Yeah.
So Idris has said, I think the banging goal gave him the edge. I think he's referring to Greenwood's goal there. Yeah, I mean, I don't always feel that whoever scores the goal is man of the match for the squad. If it's just one goal, I feel obviously other players have games that, I mean, without Pogba, that goal wouldn't have gone in, that goal wouldn't have been created. Without Pogba, I think they would have been, Southampton would have had more of the ball. I think Pogba helped us keep the ball. He helped pass it around. He was lively. He was active in this game, and I feel giving him man of the match was deserved. But I don't fault you on giving it to Greenwood. I think Greenwood had a good game as well. So I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying that Pogba had a better game in my eyes. What about you, Shaz? Do you agree with Greenwood, or are you still sticking with Pogba?
I think that they were our two best players on the pitch. I mean, Pogba, I gave it to because obviously of the assist, the fact that he created the chance. But I'm liking Greenwood's ruthlessness in front of goal. He's very instinctive, and fair play to him. I hope we see more of it.
Yeah, definitely. I hope Greenwood starts, a lot of games for United this season, and I hope he converts, as many chances as he can into goal, because we need someone to, score as our goals. Rashford's not playing. Cavani, I think, might not start as much. I think he's going to have Greenwood start more than Cavani. And I think Cavani is just going to be possibly a backup, maybe. I don't know. I'd like to see Cavani start and Greenwood, but Greenwood would then start on the wing, and then you'd have Sancho on the bench.
I know. I think it'd be interesting to those that are tuning in to see who they would have thought the lineup should have been today. So anybody that's tuning in, let us know your thoughts on the lineup. Is there anyone in particular you would have liked to see start as opposed to what Ollie has said or what myself and Chaz have covered on? Be interesting.
Yeah, no, that is a good question, man. That's a very good question. Did Solskjaer get the starting 11 right, basically, or did he get it wrong? Who should have been in the starting 11 that wasn't?
I think he got it wrong. I like I said, I would have started with Sancho. You know what? I would have even had Lingard in there and even Dan James as well. But
yeah,
a couple
of comments coming through from Idris. So I'll go through them. My thoughts are: so he would have started Cavani at striker, Greenwood striker at the right, Rashford at the left. Rashford won't be playing, bro, because he's injured. He's just come back from surgery, so Rashford wouldn't feature. I don't think he's going to be featuring until closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
But he's got. I'm guessing he means Bruno there attacking me, Pogba as CM. Yeah, man. I mean, I agree with most of them, but obviously Rashford, you're going to have to pick someone else, bro. Even though we want Rashford on the pitch, he's not going to be featuring until probably around Christmas time because of his injury and his.
Van de Beek is centre.
Yeah, definitely. I would have started Van de Beek this game. Varane and Maguire in midfield, centre back partnership.
Yeah.
I would definitely have gone with Varane and Maguire over Lindelof and Maguire because that would have given. And that's a different one. Dean Hendo in goal. AMD, then Luke Shawberto on Wan-Bissaka. Nice. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with you on most of them. Obviously, besides Rashford, obviously we can't have Rashford playing because he's out with an injury, recovering from a shoulder surgery. I actually disagree with this one on Dean Henderson. I think De Gea did well in this game to keep us in it. There was the free kick that he saved from James Ward-Prowse that kept us in it. And I don't know would Dean Henderson would have saved it? I don't know. We'll never know, to be fair, because it's never going to happen. Obviously, he's never going to get the chance to play this game because it's happened. But I mean, I'm very confident in De Gea as number one because he's been consistently a good goalkeeper at United. And I think this season he knows he's got pressure on him from Henderson. So he's going to be even sharper and even better this season than he's ever been because he knows if he messes up, then Dean Henderson's taking that spot.
It's good competition. I don't think it can harm. I think if anything, it motivates both to do just as well as each other.
This next comment, bro. I wouldn't trust De Gea if I were Ole. I don't get where that's coming from, to be fair, Idris. I mean, I would always trust De Gea. I mean, he's been at United for a good 10 years now, and he's been consistently one of the best goalkeepers in the world whilst he's been at United for the past at least 5 or 6 years, I'd say. Easy. So maybe I'm going to ask you, bro, Idris, can you elaborate on why you wouldn't trust De Gea? Is there a reason for it? What about you, Shaz? Would you trust De Gea or would you go with Hendo? Or even Tom Heaton if you like Heaton?
No, I would. If you ask me, I don't have a preference. I like them both. De Gea is world class. He's been at United since Fergie brought him in. But obviously, Idris is entitled to his opinion, and that's what we want to see on the show.
That's his opinion just there.
Last season, in my opinion,
he was bang average. Yeah, last season he have a good season, and then towards the end, he went away on paternity leave, and then Dean Hendo took over.
In order to nail Idris's comment, I would say that yes, last season he was bang average, and I think he's got a lot of pressure on him, which is why he's going to have to start well and do well in the big games. But it'd be interesting to see how that unfolds.
I think this season is going to be crucial for De Gea, because if he makes too many mistakes, then Solskjaer is just going to swap him for Hendo, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on De Gea, because he knows he could lose that that spot to another goalkeeper, because obviously they work together, they train together as goalkeepers, and he knows how good Dean Henderson is, and Dean Henderson knows how good De Gea is. So they're always going to be competing against each other, and I think it's healthy competition in a good position. It's always good to have two good goalkeepers and a selection headache in that position, because whoever you pick is going to be sharp, and he's going to try his best. He's going to be, he's going to be sharp, and he's going to try and keep his mistakes to a minimum. I think the goal that Southampton scored today wasn't Solskjaer's fault because of the deflection. I mean, I think if it wasn't deflected, maybe he would have saved it.
Yeah, he would have saved it.
I mean, it's just one of those. You can't help a deflection; it does happen.
Yes, that wasn't on him. I think that was just
an unfortunate goal that they scored against us, and I don't even think that goal should have stood because of the foul on Fernandez when they won the ball on that left side.
That's another debatable issue. The way VAR has been run this season. I think it will cause a lot of teams issues, because if now they rely on a referee to call it and go to VAR, well, what's the point of even having VAR in the first place? So either work 100%, hand or don't work at all with it.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. We've got a couple more comments coming through from Idris. Ole has so many good players, it's hard to choose my starting 11. You're right, he has got a lot of good players to choose from, and that's always a good sign at a club. That means you've got a squad that's you can rotate. That means that you've got a lot of hungry players to try and push them into the starting 11 by playing well in training and playing well on the pitch when they do get a chance. And he said he literally forgot Sancho from obviously his list of players that he gave us earlier from the starting 11. And I agree with him. Solskjaer does have a lot of good players in the squad to choose from for his starting 11. And it's always good at having a selection headache as a manager, because you've got the good players.
No, that's fair, and I think he's going to mix it up, and I want to see how they bounce back from this result. For me,
yeah, no, definitely, I want to see how United bounce back from this, because I feel that United, out of the two teams, Southampton will be happier with the draw than United.
Yeah, they will be, but
I think United are going to struggle if they carry on playing like this. But before we go, bro, we've got big man Rayan back again. Big up, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you coming on again, bro. Defos, man. What did you think of the game? I know, obviously, you support Liverpool. What did you think of United's performance, bro?
There's another one as well.
Yeah, he's just saying hi to Rayan. We'll bring it up on the screen, Rayan. Man Idris is here. He's saying hi to you, bro.
Big up.
But big up, Rayan. Always coming on, bro. Appreciate the support, man. But Shaz, what are your thoughts on going forward, bro, for United? What would you change for the game against Aston Villa?
Bring Varane in, bring Sancho in, drop Fred. I could go on and on.
What about Martial?
Yeah, Martial can sit on the bench. In fact, don't have him on the bench. Leave him at home. Bring Cavani in, and let's see how we get on for that. But
yeah, no, definitely, man. No, I appreciate that, Rayan. Really appreciate you enjoying the show, man. And I said this earlier, man. It's 3 points that United should be getting easily, so it's a big missed opportunity for you guys. 100%, I agree with that. They're flying through now. Fred had a shocker, but I still think he's a good player. Definitely, I think he had a bad game today.
The right player next to him.
I think I don't know if this guy's trolling us here right now, bro. Wow, I really rate Martial. I don't understand how anyone can rate him right now. He's having bad game after bad game.
Yeah, I mean,
Idris is saying, in my opinion, Martial is kind of under average. I don't even believe that. I think he's just, like I said to Shaz yesterday when we were going out in the car. I think he had I don't know, man. Martial's just past it now, bro. I think he's past the point where I want to give him the opportunity to try and be a good player, man. I mean, I've always said he's got the potential to be a good player, but he's not fulfilling that potential, man. He's not developing quick enough.
Let me ask you this question. Ryan, I appreciate that. So, Ryan, would you take Martial at Liverpool?
Well, what's this comment? Nah, ask flawless. I'm a big fan of Martial.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, to be fair, bro. I've always been a fan of Martial, but I'm just getting frustrated with watching him, man, because it just feels like he can't be asked playing. It just feels like he doesn't want to be there anymore.
If he's not
either that or it's just his attitude just really relaxed.
Yeah.
This is an interesting comment, Chaz. I think Martial isn't fully fit and he's just low on confidence. I agree with the part where he's low on confidence, but from what I know, obviously he was injured, but he even said it himself. He's not at 100%, but he is fully fit to play. So, I mean, I don't think he can use that as an excuse anymore that he's not fully fit. Shaz, an answer to your question, I take Martial at Liverpool all day. I think Klopp could coach him into something special.
That's
a point, man. That sometimes you need a different manager to push you in a different way and help you develop differently. I think Klopp is a good manager, and I think he could maybe get more out of Martial than other managers.
No, that's.
What about you, Shaz?
I think if he was under a different style manager, he'd perform probably better. For me, I think he just needs to change the scenery. I don't really see him doing much more than he's already done. He's already at 6-7 years.
Man.
And
I think he needs
changes.
I think like Jesse Lingard last season when he went on loan, it refreshed him. It gave him an opportunity somewhere else to prove himself. And I think something like that for Martial will be good. Maybe even if it's as a loan, going out for a loan spell to prove he can hack it at United.
No, that's fair.
What's this comment, bro? I'm bringing this one up, Shaz. I want your opinion on this, Shaz. In my opinion, Pep Guardiola is kind of average. I'll let you answer that, Shaz. I'll let you answer that one, bro.
That's a big one. So if he's overrated, who is underrated, man?
Hasn't Pep won the league and the Champions League with every team he's been with, bar Man City? Or did he not win it with Bayern Munich or something?
He didn't. I don't think he won the Champions League with Bayern. He's only won it with.
Did he win it with Inter? Or was he? I know he wasn't. No, he wasn't at Inter, was he?
Pep didn't go.
No. He went from Barca to Bayern and then Man City, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Ryan disagrees. I think Pep is the best, but he deserves criticism as well. Exactly. I mean, everyone's going to get criticism because you're going to have people that like certain managers or players, but then you're going to have the opposite, that people that don't like them.
Yeah.
He has been in all good teams. He has. I think he's done well at Man City because he's helped build that team. He's changed the way City play.
Yeah.
And I think he's done well there. Yeah, he has come into a squad that is, he's invested a good squad from other managers. I think the same at Bayern. He had a good squad at Bayern that helped him a lot in winning the league. Barca, he was there for a long time, and I think he built Barca into the club that they are today, or they were when he left. Because he's obviously the one that gave Messi his chance. He's the one that obviously built Messi up.
Yeah, no, Ryan started on.
Yeah, he didn't win the Champions League at Bayern. Yeah, I mean, this is true, Idris. He has never been in like a bad team, and I don't think he will. He's that type of manager that will always go to a big club. He's not going to be like your Mourinho, who's going to end up at a crap club like Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to be at those lower clubs, bro, because Pep's bigger than that. Pep will always be at a club that will contend for the title or the Champions League. He won't be at a club like Tottenham because they're never going to win anything. Even with a manager like Pep, they aren't going to win anything. So he's never going to go there. Okay, Idris has said, but that is with oil money. Oh, right, he's referring to Man City there, isn't it? It is with oil money, but do you know what I mean? He's helped Man City. He's done wonders for Man City whilst he's been there. I think before Pep got there, they had a pretty bad squad. A lot of the players were leaving, and he's brought in some good players. Obviously, the only signing I disagree with is Jack Grealish. He's not worth 100 mil, and he's not suited for Man City. Even though he scored, I still don't think he's going to do well at City.
They needed a striker.
Ryan's brought something up here, Shaz. So I'm gonna let you answer this one first, bro. Klopp or Pep?
Both. I'd take either one.
No, you can't pick either. You can't pick both, man. You have to pick one.
Okay, I go with Klopp. I like Klopp's style of management.
Yeah, I think Klopp can do well with less, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So at Borussia Dortmund, he didn't have much to work with at the time. He brought players in, he brought players through the ranks, and he did well with them. He's done the same at Liverpool. He's built a good squad at Liverpool. And I think Pep, he's always going to be at a big club. Pep is a big club manager. And this comment is right. Pep does not want to rebuild teams. He doesn't. I don't think he's that type of manager that can rebuild teams. To be fair, he likes to go to clubs where there's already a squad that he can work with and maybe bring in one or two players to add to it, like he has at City.
Yeah.
Idris has gone with Klopp as well.
Yeah.
And here we go. If Man City had not had oil money, I think Pep wouldn't have gone there, in my opinion. I agree with you. Like I said, Pep will always go to big clubs. And that's why you'll never see him at the Tottenhams or clubs like that, because Tottenham aren't a big club, and they never will be, because they just bottle it every time they get to a final. And that's just my opinion. I know there's going to be people that do support Spurs that are going to disagree with me, but Spurs are not a top 4, top 6 club at all. I know people say that they finish top 6 sometimes, whatever. But I don't agree with it. But Shaz, there's a comment here for you. You're going to absolutely go off on one right now. I appreciate this comment, Ryan, as well. I'm going to let you answer it, Shaz. Thoughts on Arsenal, bro?
Thoughts on
Let's
Arsenal?
go, bro. How long have you got, Ryan? How long have you got, bro?
Thoughts on Arsenal?
From the top.
Oh, boy. Where to start with Arsenal? Rubbish, underachievers, living up past glories. Their time is done. Second bottom from the league, 0 points. I mean, it kind of says it all. I mean, their owner has no ambition.
Have they actually scored a goal this season? They haven't. They didn't score against Brentford, and they didn't score against Chelsea, did they? So they haven't even scored a goal this season.
And guess who they got next?
Who have they got next?
Man City.
Oh man, Man City are going to run riot on Arsenal. Is that at the Etihad or is it at Emirates, bro? Is it home or away?
Let me have a look.
I don't even think it matters at this point whether Arsenal are at home or away. They're gonna get battered by Man City. They're gonna get. I understand why Sol doesn't want to come on the show now to talk about Arsenal, because they've got such.
I wouldn't blame him. I don't blame. Anyone had to go through. Yeah, they're away.
What were your thoughts on today's game, though, Shaz? Arsenal and Chelsea.
Mate. Chelsea took them to the cleaners, right? Chelsea.
But you have to understand, some of the players at Arsenal have COVID, so they couldn't play. I think the main centre-back partnership.
Why was it postponed?
I asked Sol about this. He did say that they actually tried to get the Brentford game postponed because of it, but it got rejected by the league.
Okay.
Oh, we've got a Chelsea fan in the building, people. Idris is a Chelsea fan, yeah? Man must be buzzing after today's win over Arsenal, yeah?
Yeah, there you go.
So what are your thoughts on Lukaku coming back to Arsenal? Good move or bad move for Chelsea?
You mean Chelsea? Lukaku going to Arsenal.
I've always rated Lukaku, and I always said to Shaz that United should never have sold him. Didn't I say that to you, Shaz?
Yes, you did.
When they sold him, I said it. Last season, I said it. And that's because United still haven't replaced him with a clinical striker that we're going to keep for a long term. I know we've had Cavani, but I'm talking about long term. And you can't say Martial's there to do that job because he's not doing it. And Lukaku was on form at United. He had that good game against PSG where he scored. and he scored a lot of other good goals for United. So Chelsea had already had him, sold him for around 50, but bought him back for 90. And this is why Idris is saying this. It's embarrassing, but a good signing. It is embarrassing. You sold him to, was it Everton? From Everton, he went to United, then went to Inter, and now he's back at Chelsea. And you paid near enough double the price you sold him for. And I think it was an inflated price.
It always is.
And the reason for that is because Inter knew Chelsea needed someone to score their goals because Timo Werner weren't going to do it.
Timo Werner, I believe.
So Idris, what are your thoughts on Timo Werner, bro? I think Shaz knows my thoughts on Timo Werner, man. I talked about him last season in his bottle jobs.
Yeah,
no, I didn't see that, Rayan. William liked to post on Instagram of Chelsea players celebrating the second goal today. I'm guessing he's still obviously got links at Chelsea, but he shouldn't be liking their post celebrating the goal because he's an Arsenal player. The fans are gonna give him a lot of stick for that, bro.
That is hilarious.
Idris has said sell Werner 100%. I agree with that. I think they should sell him before the window closes. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck with him for the season. Yeah. Even if you get rid of him on loan, at least he's off your hands for the season, and it's someone else's problem that he's not scoring for them.
Yep.
But yeah, man, we will wrap this one up, people. Me and Shaz absolutely knackered. We stayed up to watch SummerSlam last night, so we're running on adrenaline right now. So I'm absolutely knackered, bro. I know you are as well, Shaz. So we're gonna wrap it up, peeps. Appreciate you all tuning in. Appreciate the comments from Rayan and Idris, and who was the other person that left a comment? Ishal at the start there. Appreciate all your comments. Appreciate you all tuning in and listening in. But we will be back tomorrow with an episode of Fight Night. We're moving the show to Mondays for our other host, my brother Nadeem. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about Manny Pacquiao and his loss from last night. So if you're into boxing, tune in tomorrow. You'll get our thoughts on that. But for now, peeps, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for the channel. And hit us up on social media. The official social media for the channel are at the bottom on Facebook and Twitter, and our personal ones are just in the corners of our screens. But yes, people, I'll let Shaz leave his final comments before we finish up.
No, just in a nutshell, we've pretty much covered it. Positive attacking game, but we need to be more clinical in front of goal. As Ryan said, we should have buried them, and this was a missed opportunity. But you know what? We'll move, and it'd be interesting to see how they get on the next game. But as always, thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Appreciate the love and support. And until next time, take it easy. See you soon.
Take it easy, peeps.